We're going to continue reading from our Harley Davidson Enthusiast. This will be part 10. It's 1941 Harley Enthusiast. There's 12 of them, which is extensive. So it's going to take a long time to go through it. So we shall continue with our bedtime stories for Todd. I brought the bikes over here, spread them out a little bit. We have our 41FL. The 42F is applicable because if I didn't tell you what it was, you wouldn't know. And we have our 40 police bike here. And of course, Greenie right there. And then we have our 38, which we're working on over on the far side here. And those who see this for the first time, these are original paint bikes with history. And without understanding the history of how they were used in context, you cannot understand the motorcycle. So we are taking the time to share with everyone who doesn't have the privilege of having the original literature to explore this time long past of our, the young guys today. It's your great grandfather and your great great grandfather. It would be 1941. My mother was a small child. My grandfather was a young man. And he's gone many years. So if I had kids, I would be a granddaddy or great granddaddy today. So we're talking like your great great grandparents, what they lived through, and how they rode these machines. So it's a few generations back. So it's really important, I feel, for us to understand the times that these motorcycles were ridden in, and the enthusiasts are a window of that time, and how people rode, how they looked, how they dressed, how they talked. Unfortunately, it doesn't give us a window of how they walk, but trust me, they didn't walk or think or act like anybody does today. They were different people at a different time. So we stopped here with the WLDRs, and we shall continue. We are on the February 1941 Enthusiast here. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about the photos here and then we'll read from it. We are on the club areas. The club's talking about what they're doing. And this was very important in the Enthusiasts at this time, what's going on with the clubs. President Dudley Barnes Wright of the Dothan, Alabama Club presents closed club turkey run trophy and AMA Club activity trophy to William Kelly. This picture here. And you can, these guys are gone. You can see how young they were then. This is how long ago this was. They're gone. They're not up with us anymore. 2 Oklahoma club members and their pretty buddy seat passengers. Left to right are W.J. Mayfield, S.R. 3 Keld, E. Fudge Jr., and Betty Lou Harrison, Daily Oklahoman photo. These are just young kids. These are, they're probably 18, 15, very, very young. Can you get into the, see it up close there?
Yeah, I'm up close.
You're going to zoom in on it.
Right there. Move the book a little bit higher. Right there, where I can. Yeah, I got it. Right there.
You got it up close?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So hopefully she got it real close because I can't see what she's filming. You can see the expressions on their faces. You can tell just how young they are. Young kids in the primary of their life. We've got a 40 here on the right. And the other bike is obscured. That's a 40 knuckle on the right. We can see the chevron right there. And this other picture here says Tri-State Ramblers Motorcycle Club members of Mingo Junction, Ohio, and their guests snapped at their annual banquet and dinner dance at Steubenville, Ohio. Nice going, Ramblers. There's quite a few of them. I don't see any older gentlemen except possibly this lady right here. These are all younger guys, 20s, maybe early 30s, and their wives or girlfriends. Active club. I mean, everybody's dressed up. Everybody's wearing ties. It's a motorcycle club. They're all wearing ties. They're all in their finery. Today we'd be all in leather jackets and t-shirts. different times. South Bend Motorcycle Club, South Bend, Indiana. On behalf of our club, we are giving a list of our officers elected at a meeting held December 22nd. Jimmy Sucks, President; Virgil Pope, Vice President; Walter Strope, Secretary; Frank Andrews, Treasurer; Kenneth Schaefer, Financial Secretary; Daniel Plew, Road Captain, Millboard Lake Club Referee. Club is looking forward and planning a bigger and better year for 41. The new officers, we plan better things also. Our club colors are white and navy blue. Our club slogan is one for all or not at all. We meet every Friday evening at 7:30. We have 25 active members starting the new year. W. Strope, Secretary. Now, I'm going to stop here for a second, because how young these guys are important. These are the guys that fought World War II, gentlemen. These are great-grandfathers that fought and died for us so we could be alive. And they're very innocent, very young, and then they went into the killing fields and how to learn how to kill without feeling. And then they came back into this type of society, and they weren't the same. Indian Rock Motorcycle Club, Reinhold, Pennsylvania. We wish you to note the formation of our new AMA registered motorcycle club. This is important. When Hollister happened, the AMA had some sort of something saying, well, only 1% of the clubs out there are not AMA memberships, or alluded to that in relation to Hollister. Nobody actually went on record and said that. Who said what, but that went into the historical record. And so a lot of people, as time progressed, became 1%ers and proud of it and formed the outlaw clubs. But the time when this was happening, in other words, if you just weren't sanctioned by the AMA and didn't ride around with a necktie, you were an outlaw. That's all it took. You were an outlaw club. You weren't stealing motorcycles and whoring women and running drugs down the street. Different world. It's not how it was. Indian Rock Motorcycle Club, Reinhold, Pennsylvania. We wish you to note the formation of our new AMA registered motorcycle club. We had our first meeting in March 1940, and up to date we have 27 members. We are planning to have a big roast for the very near future, and we have a lot of competition among other clubs in a small radius, including the Reading Club, the Raven Club, and the Garden Spot Club. We can conduct our own safety contest. A badge marked Sissy is given to the first member who takes a spill on a public road while riding a motorcycle. When the next member spills, he gets it, and so on. It keeps going in rotation. We are planning to make the year 1941 a real progressive year. We expect to stage several events for the coming year and increase our membership. George Dinner, Secretary. So, evidently, Sissy at that time had nothing to do with a gay man. It meant to do with you couldn't ride a motorcycle. Words and their meanings change a lot. I'll reference, we have this huge...
Those lights.
What? That's fine. The light's off. We have this huge gay movement right now where it's accepted, and that's fine. To me, that's absolutely fine. What you do in your bedroom, you do in your bedroom. I got no business in somebody's bedroom, and when you got in my bedroom, that's all good. But at the time, when somebody said you were gay, it didn't mean homosexual, guys. They meant that you were happy. That's not what it meant. It's not what it meant at all. Rose City Ramblers Motorcycle Club, Jackson, Michigan. On Saturday night, January 4th, we had a movie night at our club headquarters. The movie pictures were furnished by Goodyear, which company also furnished the projector. The motion pictures included the Jack Pine Run of 1934, also the 1939 Langhorne Race. The movies ran for approximately an hour and furnished a great deal of entertainment. Approximately 45 club members and friends were present. We are now holding regular meetings again and making a drive for new members. In 1940, we had a safe driving year of approximately 100,000 miles, and we are proud of the 1940 award which the AMA sent us. We are planning an activity contest for 41. Chicago Motorcycle Clubs Association, Chicago, Illinois. Again this year, the Chicago Motorcycle Clubs Association, Incorporated, plans to continue its policy of furthering the sport of motorcycling. Our membership to date boasts of the following registered AMA clubs located in and around Chicago: the Aero Ox, Comet, Eagle, and Group, Falcon, Mercury, Mustang, Chicago Ranger, Sauk Trail, Windy City, and the X Riders. Our purpose is solely to support one another at each other's social affairs. We extend a cordial invitation to all AMA clubs in our locality to join our organization. I heartily believe they will be compensated immeasurably by doing so, or by so doing, it says. We might add that the cost of belonging to this organization is so negligible as to be unworthy of mention. In closing, we take this opportunity of wishing every club throughout the country a most pleasant and prosperous New Year. S. Mills. The reason why those motorcycles are over there so they could be in back of it. Put that in back of me over here. So they can see the bikes at the same time.
You can see them.
They can't see it when it's out of the frame. Hello.
Okay.
Thank you. Monongahela Valley Motorcycle Club, Donora, Pennsylvania. We want to tell the enthusiast readers all about the good time we had on New Year's Eve. We had a very nice crowd, and they all had a good time eating and drinking and joking, and met a nice bunch of new riders who are joining up with our club this year. We had our regular meeting first, and then we elected new officers for the new year. The following officers were elected: John Zumbro, President; Ed Corby, Vice President; H. Gallo, Secretary; E. Serini, Treasurer; Jim Serini, Referee; Roy Hammond, Road Captain; William Carroll, Assistant. After the meeting was over, we donated the 2 trophies, which were won by Roy Hammond, our road captain, and the second by Jim Serini, our assistant referee. After that, the good times started. We were planning to have a busy year, starting off with a big Class C race on Decoration Day, or another date close to it. Our club is 100% AMA, and we have a club charter. Our club has been incorporated since 1934. We have a fine safety record for 1940, and ended our club activities for 1940 with the Big Turkey Run on November 17th, which was won by Clarence Sayers of Washington, Pennsylvania. We send him more news as the season goes on. Now, so far, all the little events are by name. So everybody knew what that meant to say it was a turkey run. Did they get a turkey at the end? Did everybody have a turkey dinner? What exactly was a turkey run? Did the loser get called a turkey? I don't know. Tri-City Motorcycle Club, Incorporated, Rock Island, Illinois. This is by Davenport, where the big man is. We held our annual election of officers recently with the following results. Floyd Waddles Irwin. What's the name? Floyd Waddles Irwin. That's what it says. President. Joe D. Baker, Vice President. Vince Duffy, Treasurer. Walt Suttles, Secretary. Dick Brooks, Auditor. Harry Humphrey, Road Captain. And Johnny Greenwood, Advertising Manager. December 7th, we had the annual rabbit feed. The climax of the affair, we had a very interesting talk on safety by Police Officer Max Armstrong of the First Aid and Safety Division of the Illinois State Highway Police. Instead of patrol, it says State Highway Police. Here's a tip to all the other clubs in Illinois. If you want a wonderful speaker at no cost to you, be sure to get in touch with Officer Armstrong. He is really good. After the speech, games were started, and in order that Bob Boot also would have a good time, a case of pop was opened. They're movers and shakers, man. They ain't drinking beer, they're drinking pop. That pop is soda, like Coca-Cola and Pepsi. That's what they called it, pop. Of course, we held our hare and hound chase, but that isn't news anymore. The Harry Humphrey won it again. That's what it says. For Harry Humphrey won it again. We are thinking of changing the name to the annual Harry and Pearl Humphrey Chase, where it seems we are always chasing them in this event. Here's a tip to the wise. Watch the enthusiasts for news of the Tri-City Club in 41. We are going places this year. John Greenwood, ADV, I guess that's advice, I'm not sure, manager. Lone Star Motorcycle Club, Houston, Texas. Although we have been very irregular in our correspondence, at last we have gotten around to let enthusiast readers know what a live wire club is doing to pass away a winter of bad weather. In our clubhouse, we have recently laid a mighty good dance floor. Friday is a regular meeting night, and we hold dances and parties. Music is furnished by Nickelodeon. Do you know what a Nickelodeon is? It's not a jukebox. A Nickelodeon, you put in a nickel, and you have string instruments and so forth, and play actual instruments in the box. It's not a record. It's a live mechanical orchestra. So that was pretty something for them to have a Nickelodeon. Wow. You have to go to museums to hear them play anymore. On favorable Sundays, our entertainment committee generally plans a ride of some kind. We recently have had an economy run, our annual turkey run, several field meets, and a ride that we copied from the Dallas Club. A ride based on mileage and true and false statements. Elections of officers was held, and our leaders for 1941 are going to be Pete Brown, President, Jimmy Davis, Vice President, Miller Wilhite, or Wilhite, Wilhite, Secretary. I know there's a Wilhite in the club. I wonder if they're related. John Riley, Road Captain, Todd Upton, Sergeant at Arms. You will probably be hearing a lot more from us in the future. Jimmy Davis, Vice President. Lakettes Motorcycle Club, Cleveland, Ohio. This is the first club news the Enthusiast has had from the Lakettes of Cleveland since we were organized last July. There are just 11 Lakettes, but we hope to have more this spring. We are 100% AMA, and each must be a steady buddy seat rider of the Great Lakes Club to belong. So they have a club within a club. They have a club just for the women who are buddy seat riders of the boys. That's interesting. Our officers are Bertha Gerton, President, Eva Bentz, Vice President, Mary Baden, Secretary and Treasurer, Eileen Barr, Social Chairman. Our aim is to help the Great Lakes Boys Club. We both meet on Tuesday night, after which we go bowling in the winter. In the summer we have beach parties, roasts, go to amusement parks. Our uniforms are royal blue and tan twill with the royal blue helmets and black boots. We certainly look neat lined up for our runs on Tuesdays and Sundays. We held our last TT race on July 21st in Independence, Ohio. The girls certainly did their part of the work on the track as well as at the race. Our first race was rained out, but we had a fine attendance on our rain date. The clubs have had several good parties, one being a costume party on Halloween, another New Year's party. We always rent a hall and have music and plenty of eats and beer, so a good time is always had by all. Visitors are always welcome to visit us, so when you come to Cleveland, look us up. Eileen Blair. Boy, they were movers and shakers. They actually drank beer and admitted it. And admitted they drank beer. The women, wow. So let's talk about our little photos here. We have here line of bikes. So far away I can't see what any of them are. It says Mobile, Alabama, riders in front of the Harley Davidson dealer Otis Lee's store, ready to start on Saturday afternoon. So you can get into Otis's store. You can see the old neon sign up here. It says motorcycles, bicycles. Just says Harley Davidson motorcycles. It doesn't have a name at all. That's pretty wild. Just a little tiny store, you know, little block.
Okay.
Then over here we have Washington, D.C. Police.
Wait.
Ready?
I don't. Okay, right there.
Washington, D.C. Police threw a large crowd at their annual field day. On the left is a flaming wall crash by Officer Kaskeski, while on the right he hurdles 8 of his mates.
Wow.
Somebody cut that out of this one. That's sad. So we're missing a photo here. Well, wish they wouldn't do that to these things. And they cut out a memento. Total bummer. So, we're missing that photo and the subsequent photo in the back and some of the words. But we'll read what we can. Ulster County Motorcycle Club, Kingston, New York. Greetings, fellow motorcyclists in a somewhat new club. We have been organized for about a year now and have elected officers for the year 1941. They are Josh Purcell, President, John Bosch, it might be Joseph Purcell, JLS period, John Bosch, Vice President, Walter V. Quick, Secretary Treasurer, George Kelly, Road Captain, George Holly, Referee, Mrs. George Kelly, Sergeant at Arms, Walter Quick, Road Lieutenant, John Bosch, and William Van Cleek, Publicity Managers. Wow. Olive Munson and Estelle Shellman, House Committee, Mrs. Walter Quick, George Kelly, and William Van Cleek, Tour Committee. Our club has 16 active members, and although the girls in the club are spoken of as auxiliary members, they are regular members with all the club privileges. Although our membership at present is quite short of what it was this past summer, we hope that under the stimulus of our proposed new uniforms this coming year, our membership will take a turn for the decided increase. We are proud of the fact that as a result of our strong club constitution, we are all AMA members. Also quite proud that the riders of the club rode an approximately total of 100,000 miles during 1940 with only one reportable accident. In the club activity contest for 1940, first place in the men's division was won by Walter Quick, and the first place in the women's division was won by Walter's wife, Ethel. Our club's first sanctioned event so far, a turkey run, was held this past November. It was a decided success. Winners were Steve Rich, Nick Antonelli, and Fred Broom. Our 1940 President Hector Terwilliger, as I was pronounced, is leaving for Fort Benning, Georgia, where he will serve his one-year enlistment in the United States Army. I was sure that turned into more than 1 year. Poor guy. Much praise is due. Hector has been such an ardent motorcyclist and club president, and all his friends know that the Army is getting a good soldier in Heck. Our club rooms, which are located in 8 Down Street, Kingston, New York, are open to all motorcyclists at any time, stopping when you are in town. William Van Cleck, Publicity Manager. Oklahoma City Motorcycle Club, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Now, let me seem a little late to be talking about our Christmas affair. We held our party December 21st in the club room. We had a swell time, games galore, cards, table tennis contest, cracker eating to bingo, and also apple eating contest. Wilbur Patton won the first prize at bingo, mechanical porky. Everyone received a present from the tree, which was a regular tree with lights and everything. Mostly these presents, which there were 30, were small mechanical motorcycles. One particularly would run solo, but on each turn he would dump, but get up again and spin away. Santa bought the club a pool table and a dart ball target. At about 11 o'clock, all the games were called off, and the turkey sandwiches with all the trimmings from pickles to pies were brought on. The supper was partly on the club, partly financed by assessments. Many thanks to the ladies who gave of their time in shopping and preparing this dainty feast. In our first meeting of the new year, we elected officers who were Bernard Roseborough, President Charles Albright, Vice President Paul Dunaway, Secretary George Shaw, Chairman of the Entertainment Committee, Norman Rudolph, Road Captain. Tom Howard was made historian, although the historian does not rank as an officer. President at this meeting was our Harley Davidson factory representative, Two Gun Phillips. Also, the club accepted Bill Rudolph as the newest member. Bill is a brother to Norman and an old AMA man. We are 100% AMA. Even some of the ladies have their AMA cards. A rousing vote of thanks was given to the retiring officers for zeal, zest, and interest. The retiring officers are Buster Belts, President, George Hampton, Vice President, Wilbur Fudge, Secretary, Royal Brust, Treasurer, Buell Acree, Road Captain, Bob Hughes, Sergeant at Arms, T. Howard. Waukesha Motorcycle Club, Waukesha, Wisconsin. That's just north of Milwaukee, for those who don't know. North of Milwaukee, what do we think of Milwaukee? Chicago. Yeah. South of Milwaukee, north of Chicago. Our club was fortunate in holding a successful hill climb. We can now afford to have a party once in a while. Our recent Christmas party and dance was a big success. Presents were distributed to the gang by Santa Claus, George Smith. He did a very good job as a result. We received free memberships in the AMA for the coming year. The 1940 activity contest trophy was awarded to Johnny Lewis by Lord Bender, the president. Among the girls, Seal, C-E-E-L, Plesh. What an interesting name, Seal, C-E-E-L. How cool. Plesh was awarded her trophy by Pearl Slater, president of the Girls Auxiliary. At the present time, we have a combined membership of 15 boys and 13 girls. 2 of our couples are married during the year.
Congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. Harry Slater and Mr. and Mrs. Donald Gorke. Goerke. Donald, by the way, was drafted in the Army soon after his wedding and is spending a year in Louisiana. Just received our safety award banner for rolling up 108,153 safe miles. Where's that guy who said motorcycling is too dangerous? 1940 was the best year our club has experienced since it became organized. We won first place at the Wisconsin State Rally as the best dressed club. Also received second place in the drill contest. The first public appearance was made here with our newly formed drum and bugle corps. Hop Smith, the club's oldest member, is the director. According to E.C. Smith, this is the only known motorcycle drum and bugle corps in the United States. We also had the pleasure of opening up the 1940 National Championship hill climb in Beloit. Maybe other clubs would like to have us come and open up the races and hill climbs. If they do, just drop us a line and we'll be glad to hear from you. Write to Johnny Lewis, Secretary, 219th Waverly Place, Waukesha, Wisconsin. So, we can't quite read all of this, but we'll read what we can. We got lost some with the cutout here. Wachita Motorcycle Club, Wachita, Kansas. Wachita. I must be getting tired. It's Wichita. I must be getting tired. Idiot. Long silent but not inactive, the Wichita Jeeps are here to admit a few cheeps, Cheeps, that's what it says, Cheeps, concerning the taffy pulls hereabouts. Hitler is having a profound effect on local life. Ex-Jeep Paul Stapleton has departed for the Navy Yard at Bremerton, Washington, via California. Comes the binding season and talk of cubic inches gives way to Cupid. Curly Bar took an option on Vino Payne last August. On a 4-day Christmas furlough from the Great Lakes Naval Training Station, Curly took his last gasp of freedom. The bride wore stars in her eyes, a tremolo in her voice, a quiver in the knees, and a rose on each cheek. She was radiant in an ethereal gown of delirious happiness, and a halo encircled everything. Now Curly's in San Diego while Spino languishes and languishes, and someday Hitler must answer for this too. Back in November, Gene Harris went pipeless long enough to draw I do and forever become a spouse to Marjorie Hahn, or Marjorie Hahn, as nearly so as circumstances permit. Interesting wording. Comes January and off Wiedershen is said as the troop train jerks Gene off to Camp Robinson. Might be love or it might be conscription, but Ray Donham, a somewhat scarred Gibraltar of bachelorhood, lives now in the stratosphere and is now in unlit caverns, depending on the way goodbyes are said, at the foot of College Hill. There was another hare and hound chase in December, bunnied with fiendish cunning by Warren, I Want to Be a Hound, Henkel, and Bill DeVore, now transplanted in California. Clay Allred wrote a very fine VERA, fine race, but the first tally-ho went to Floyd Copeland. In Fuller hunts, there have been 4 different winners. Ray Donham, who started last in this race, was never passed and finished in this ample time for the big Christmas party. This rug cutting was held on Saturday, just prior to Christmas. Santa Claus brought the toys, while dealer Hinkle furnished the hall and music. On January 5th, the economy run was won by Harry Yates on a 61, with Hinkle runner-up on a 74. And remember, 74, that bike right there, show them that bike right there, that was first year manufactured, 1941. Big news, we're making a 74-inch overhead valve knuckle. Now they did make a 74 flathead, obviously, for quite some time, and it's not specifying. But the 61, like that 40 right there, they're definitely referring to a knucklehead. So they're implying, so it seems to me, that the 74 was an overhead valve, but it doesn't say. Gavel banger for this year is the popular and longtime member Floyd Copeland, who steps into the shoes so well worn by Bud Siegel. Ed Albert is vice president. Kenneth Albert embezzled so well last year that no one could improve on his method, so he'll march the pennies up and down the page for another year. Donham, is he here again? And McGinnis running unopposed when the offices of, and unfortunately cut it out so I have no idea what it says. Scrib and photographer after strenuous campaigning, EC Everlasting Conciliation, Smith sends word of his coming January 23rd and without his pictures, ho hum. Ray Donham. Now a lot of that didn't make any sense to me, but I'm trying to read the wording without trying to correct it because that's what the eyes do, as exact as possible. So we'll finish the rest of this page here.
Please.
I think, no, we'll just go ahead and leave this here, this page and this page for another time. And we'll finish this little ad here. So it's The Enthusiast, a magazine for motorcyclists, published monthly by Harley Davidson Motor Company, 37 West Genoa Avenue, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, USA. Sent free to all factory registered owners of Harley Davidson motorcycles. To others, subscription price is 25 cents for 6 months, 50 cents for 1 year. Special note, be sure to notify us immediately of any change in your address. The Enthusiast is mailed third class and therefore cannot enjoy the forwarding privileges of first class mail. That's really sad they cut that, but at least we got most of it. And we'll read this and the rest of it on the next adventure. And that's where it's at there. So this is February 1941.
You stop.
And you can see we're preparing for war. We'll see you guys on the next reading, and I hope everybody has a good night.